All right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Boogie Down Bronx, Queens, all the way out to Staten Island, my home borough, Brooklyn. Back out with another video. In honor of Super Bowl week, I'm doing another entry into the Greatest Games Ever series, and this is going to be on Super Bowl 23, one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, one of the most iconic drives in NFL history, regular season, postseason Super Bowl. You know, the Joe Montana's drive at the end of this game was one of those iconic moments in Super Bowl history, and that drive in of itself elevates the level of this game to me. But of course, got to give a little backdrop on the AFC champion Bengals and NFC champion 49ers. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals earlier in the decade had went to the Super Bowl, led by Ken Anderson. They lost to a younger Joe Montana and the 49ers, 26-21. Now, fast forward to 1988. They're led by their lefty quarterback, Boomer Esiason, who went on to win the NFL's MVP. He threw for 3,572 yards, 28 touchdowns, had a 97.4 passer rating, and a 57.5% completion percentage. And the Bengals also had breakout star rookie Ickey Woods, who started out the year wearing number 31 and somehow, by some miracle, ended the year wearing number 30. He finished that year with 1,066 yards and 15 rushing touchdowns. Wide receiver Eddie Brown led the team with 53 catches, 1,273 yards, and 9 touchdowns. The Bengals finished the '88 season with 12-4 record, the best record in the AFC, the number one ranked total offense in the NFL, and the 16th ranked defense in the NFL. And a little fact about this Bengals team, they were kind of the first team to introduce the no-huddle offense, the hurry-up offense in the National Football League, which a couple years later the Buffalo Bills, led by Jim Kelly, improved upon. So you got to give credit to Boomer Esiason and Sam Wyche, the head coach of the Bengals. In the playoff, they defeated the Seattle Seahawks 21-13, defeated the Buffalo Bills 21-10 to advance to their second Super Bowl in franchise history. And it'd be their last one for 30-some years. Now to the 49ers. The 49ers in 1987 were 13-2 in the strike scoring year. They had the number one ranked total offense in the NFL, the number two ranked total defense in the NFL, and were upset in the divisional round by the Minnesota Vikings. Had the Niners not got upset, they probably would have won 3 Super Bowls in a row, 87, 88, 89. You never know. And here Anthony Carter, the Vikings wide receiver, and the kicker for the Vikings. One of the biggest upsets in NFL history. And going into that offseason, Bill Walsh had considered trading the great Joe Montana. He'd considered trading Joe Montana. And at that time, that would have been something like, are you out of your mind? Has Bill Walsh lost his nuts? Lost his mind, excuse me. Is he knucking futs? Fucking nuts, but obviously Montana ended up proving him wrong. But the Niners team throughout 88 season, you could tell, was not the same 49ers team of old. You see, Joe Montana threw for 2,981 yards, 18 touchdowns, had 87.9% passer rating, and a 59.9% completion percentage. Trying to show Bill Walsh, prove him wrong. You thought about trading me? Well, watch this. And of course, in the backfield, they were led by the great Roger Craig, who carried the ball 310 times for 1,502 yards and 9 rushing touchdowns. And of course, the great Jerry Rice did Jerry Rice things. He had 69 catches for 1,306 yards and 9 touchdowns. On the defensive side, they were still led by their enforcer, Ronnie Lott, who led the team with 5 interceptions. Third-year player Charles Haley led the team with 11.5 sacks, and rookie Bill Romanowski contributed with 53 tackles. The 49ers finished that season at 10-6, the 7th-ranked offense in the NFL, the 8th-ranked defense in the NFL. In their first playoff game, they got their revenge on the Minnesota Vikings, defeating them 34-10, and then went to Soldier Field in Chicago to defeat the Chicago Bears to advance to their third Super Bowl of the decade in the 1980s. So Super Bowl 23 was played January of 89 in the Orange Bowl in Miami, and things kind of started out relatively slow. Teams exchanging field goals, and of course Ronnie Lott delivered probably the most infamous hit of his career when he leveled Ickey Woods in the backfield. Ronnie Lott, he was the master of giving us what he likes to call woo hits. That hit you hear it and everybody says woo, go woo, and everybody stands up when they see woo. They hear a woo hit, but it threw the Bengals off their game. But both these teams were kind of struggling, exchanging field goals, and the game was tied 6-6. Then all of a sudden, Stanford Jennings returned a kick 93 yards to the house for a touchdown to give the Bengals a 13-6 lead. And then Joe Montana went to his main man, the great Jerry Rice, who was on his way to an MVP performance, and hit Jerry Rice for a touchdown to tie the game at 13-13. Then the Bengals got the ball back and tied the game, got the lead back at 16-13 with a little over minutes to go, just enough time for more Montana magic. And Joe Montana, on the first play of the drive, looked in the huddle and told everybody, "Hey, look, guys, it's John Candy." Joe Montana, the original Joe Cool. Cool, calm, and collected. Nothing could phase him. No matter how much time was left, no matter what the score was on the scoreboard, Joe Montana believed he could come back, and he did many, many times. Joe Montana led his team on a drive for the ages, and of course him and Jerry Rice. And I did a video, I'm going to put a link to it in the description. It's called Super Bowl Performances, Joe and Jerry's Super Bowl 23, because both of them could have got MVP for this game, because they both had legendary performances. But especially Jerry, I mean, my God. I mean, the Bengals could not stop Jerry Rice for nothing. But although Jerry Rice was the MVP of the Super Bowl, the hero of the game was the second receiver, a little-known receiver out of an HBCU in Delaware named John Taylor. And with 39 seconds to go in the ball game, you see Jerry Rice shifting in motion. Montana stepped back and hit John Taylor in the back of the end zone for a touchdown, 49ers. One of the most iconic moments in NFL history. 39 seconds remaining. Back to throw Montana. Steps up, throws. Touchdown, 49ers. You see Joe Montana jumping up in the air with the number 1 because he knew they were world champions at that point, even though there's still 34 seconds to go in the ball games. But the Cincinnati Bengals couldn't do nothing. They stopped the Bengals, and for the third time in the 1980s, the 49ers were world champions. But, credit to the Cincinnati Bengals. They tried to play hard, but, they just ran to perhaps the greatest quarterback and greatest receiver in NFL history. Boomer Esiason, for MVP, came up real small, threw only 144 yards, an interception, and was sacked 5 times. Now, of course, let me not forget to mention, the Cincinnati Bengals had left tackle future Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz, perhaps the greatest offensive lineman in NFL history. But he gave up 5 sacks. That was not good. The Bengals overall did not play well in this game. But Jerry Rice and Joe did. Jerry Rice had set a Super Bowl record, 11 catches, 215 yards, and of course had a touchdown. Joe Montana contributed with 23 of 36 passing for 357 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of the greatest performances in Super Bowl history and one of the greatest Super Bowls ever played. But what do you guys think? Tell me in the comment section down below. Is this the greatest Super Bowl of all time? My dad says this is one of his favorite Super Bowls to watch ever of all time. I've seen it, of course, on YouTube and when they have NFL throwbacks on NFL Network. It was an overall great game. But tell me what you think in the comment section down below. See y'all.